Hi y'all, Joni here, bringing you a full moon reading today. I'm going to do a full moon reading and then a small guided meditation to go along with the focus from the reading. I hope you enjoy, and as always, would love to hear your feedback. We are going to pull from multiple decks today for the full moon reading, and it is the full moon in Pisces. Now, the Pisces is also known by many as the healer's moon, and that is because it is a very huge implement or huge tool for people to use to bring out their healing selves. So being able to offer someone else healing during this time, being able to offer yourself some healing is a great process, and is also amazing for the full moon as we surrender to what is and allow that full moon's light to shed that illumination over areas where we need to let go, where we need to surrender. So that is one of the beautiful things. I'm very happy to have this full moon in Pisces right now for myself. So I hope that you are feeling some of that energy as well. The first oracle deck that I'm going to pull out is my Power of Surrender deck. And I'm going to start by pulling a card from here. And this is going to maybe shed some light on something that you can surrender during this full moon cycle. Ooh, surrender to creativity. So that is beautiful in the sense of, it says, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So a lot of times we think there's only one way to solve a problem or only one way to get somewhere where we're wanting to go. And in truth, there's so many ways to get to the places that we're wanting to get. And there's so many ways to learn things that we might be willing to learn or wanting to learn. So how can you be creative? What's something that you are driven to? Maybe one of the things that I was reading in my book that is the moon phase astrology book, where I get a lot of the information on the different moon phases, is that the Pisces moon is about helping others and, creating some healing things for people. And one of the things that it says is that if you don't really know how to do anything, or you don't feel like you have the capabilities within you to help somebody, then what do you support? What's a way that you can support somebody else, or how can you support somebody else? Because that in itself is also healing, right, and supportive. So allow yourself to think about that during this time, surrendering to the idea that you don't have within you the ability to share yourself, because your gifts are your gifts. And now we're going to do the activation oracle deck. And in this deck, this is going to tell you the energy to be able to bring in to help you begin that process of surrendering to that creativity. And I'm pulling two of them this time, so those are both going to come out. So the alchemy. I love this. I was actually just talking to my friend earlier today about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I finished that book a long while back, and I just finished another book of his called The Valkyries, which I very much enjoyed. I posted a quote from that story on my Instagram story. If you're interested, I think it's still up. And so the alchemy card says, the frequency of alchemy helps activate our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. So I love that that's one of the cards that flew out of the deck, because I had two, remember? And that is exactly what I was just talking about, was the magic and the gifts that you have to share, and being able to surrender to your ability to create that awareness within yourself, because it's not all about drawing a picture, and it's not all about making babies, and it's not all about making jewelry. There's so many ways we can create, y'all. Coherence. So that's the second card that flew out of the deck, coherence. And this is the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. I do believe that we all have the capabilities to make magic in our lives. It can be challenging sometimes whenever there are restrictions or challenges in our way they do facilitate our growth, but it can be hard to see that in the moment and recognize where that's coming from, allowing ourselves to get down to the root of where that denying is coming from, denying that we have the capabilities to bring the things into existence that we're seeking, how we're standing in our own way, if you will. The next card that I'm going to pull is from my Journey Within Oracle deck. So we've got the surrender, we've got how to activate, And now this is what we're activating towards. This is the journey that we're on, and 3 cards popped out of the deck there, y'all. So, okay. I love this because maybe it means that I'm going to have a number of people watching this, and each of these cards represent a different thing for a different person. All 3 of these cards happen to be purple. This deck has different colors to bring in a different focus for what the journey within is meant to be. And so all of these are about relationships. Very, very interesting. The first one is ahimsa. Now, this is beautiful. This is a yoga word, and it is all about compassion. It is all about non-harming, and it is so challenging sometimes for us to sometimes recognize that we might be harming ourselves out of a fear that we don't want to harm the other. So that is just something personal. Compassion is the basis of ahimsa, the principle of nonviolence, and of the spirit of yoga. Advancement in yoga is connected to your compassion towards others and your recognition that the suffering of others is your own suffering and the happiness of others is your own happiness. So ahimsa was the first. The next, the power of positivity. I don't know if I showed y'all the other card. Let me show you that. Okay. In the back of the cards, I love all of the different decks that I have. Y'all know I have a lot. The power of positivity. Depressive thoughts can impede your spiritual and material progress. By recognizing that the soul is divine, that we are all beloved children of the Supreme, you will stabilize your mind in a field of positivity and awaken to your higher nature. That's really interesting because that's so much about what the Valkyries book was about. And being able to remember that you are beautiful in every facet of the person that you are, and honoring and accepting every facet of the person you are. The final one is a strong foundation. Oh, I love this too, but I put my shungite up. I got some healing Reiki yesterday from a friend and pulled a whole lot of stones into the mix for myself. It was a distance Reiki session that I've done a few times with this same person. I'll make sure to tag her on this so that way you can see who she is. I love doing my sessions with her. She's beautiful. And she, one of the things that I did was pull out my shungite because it helps to stabilize and give you structure for a stronger foundation. A strong foundation. If a house is built on a strong foundation, it can sustain any storm. But if it is built on shifting sand, the house will eventually collapse. You need to cultivate a strong foundation of self-awareness to weather the storms of life with inner peace and joy. Okay, so that was a little freakish because I have been writing a lot more in the last year. And in one of my poems / songs, maybe, I don't really know how it's going to come about or how it's going to end up bringing itself into existence whenever it's ready to be shared. That is very similar to actual chorus that I have in a song. So that's really neat for me specifically. And to be able to share with y'all today, foundations are important. One of the things that I spoke with my friend about yesterday that I was just talking about was that, sometimes we get into the habit of we want to create routines. Routines are good for us, but sometimes we get stuck by the definitions that we put on things. For instance, routines can seem very what's the word that I'm looking for? Constrictive, right? So she was telling me that she likes to use the word ritual, and that's beautiful as well. I don't know that I like any. I just kind of try to go, and I'm working on just allowing myself to be guided to all of the different things that are on my list, because as you know, we all have lots of things on our list. The final card that I'm going to pull today is from my actual tarot deck, and this one is going to be the focus, all right? So this is how you can help bring all of these things into existence. You surrender to that creativity. You bring coherence and alchemy into the mix, right? You allow yourself to have a foundation. You allow yourself to have compassion because that's needed when we are working towards. And then you work towards being positive, right? And that facilitates all of this. And the focus is the 10 of Pentacles. I love the reading that I'm doing for y'all today, y'all. Okay, the 10 of Pentacles. It is representation. It is a representation of foundations. It is a representation of beautiful investments, things coming back to you. When you invest in yourself and you invest in your healing, when you invest in helping others heal, there is without attachment, right? Like we can't help, like we can only be there for somebody. We can only offer guidance if they want us to, offer opinions if they want us to. But whenever we're doing that without the thought that, oh, it's going to make them change, or with having compassion for ourselves, like we're going to change in the time frame that works best for us. We don't actually get to make that happen right away, because we can try it, but then it might not work out the way that we're hoping it to. But when we cross our T's and dot our I's and all of the other things that have been mentioned in this reading, we do have a strong foundation, and we are protected in all of those facets when we are working towards that truth and that positivity and that coherence and that ahimsa that we all need desperately to give to others and to ourselves. I hope that this reading has spoke to you today, and I hope that it has helped some. I'm going to guide you through a small meditation. I'm just going to do 5 rounds of alternate nostril breathing, and then I'm going to take 8 deep breaths. All right, now my breaths, I typically try to encourage you to take 4 count breaths whenever we get back into the last part of the guided meditation. Now, I also encourage you to only do that if it feels available to you. So if you need to breathe in and out more than what I'm suggesting to do, please do so, as when you're practicing to build up that lung capacity, it can create some tension within that can, frustrate you. So allow yourself to, again, that's the practice of ahimsa, right? Having that compassion, not harming yourself by thinking it needs to be any other way. All right, I'm going to guide you to sit up nice and tall. You can lay down on the floor if you like. You don't have to sit cross-legged if you don't want. I'm actually not sitting cross-legged because I'm sitting on my Papasan chair with my lovely pillow that my beautiful friend created the artwork for, that I got from Redbubble. I'll post a link to that too. And so I'm going to tell you to just, if you are sitting up, allow yourself to work towards aligning the shoulders over the hips, and work towards allowing yourself to really pull back, allowing yourself to feel supported by yourself, by the space that's around you. Aligning the shoulders over the hips, the ears over the shoulders, reaching the crown of the head to the sky. Allowing yourself to take the right thumb and close off the right nostril. Okay, we're going to breathe in through the left nostril. Close off the left nostril and breathe out through the right. Inhale through the right. Close off the right. Breathe out through the left. That's 1 full cycle. Inhale through the left. Close. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close. Exhale through the left. Number 4, inhale through the left. Close. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close. Exhale through the left. Allow yourself to bring those hands back down to the tops of the thighs or back down to the ground. Breathing deeply here with me. Allowing everything else to fade away. Setting that intention to put that focus on that belief that you are protected, in surrendering to your creativity, the gifts that you have to bring into this world. Have compassion for yourself. If your thoughts are all over the place, just a few more deep breaths with me. Slowly bringing yourself back, allowing yourself to open those eyes if you decided to close them, and bringing yourself into that space of it only takes a few minutes to bring yourself back to yourself. I hope this helped today. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Namaste.